I should have put Super Bowl champions.
Right.
Man, what a miss. I am super excited to talk to you. You know this. I adore talking to you. I love that you love your team. I love how you love your team. So thank you for joining me. And then just so the audience knows, 32 different fans, 32 different teams. And of course, we had to make room for this Super Bowl champion, Philadelphia Eagles. So Simone is here and you've been here. This is my third recording with you, I feel like, at this point.
Yeah.
So, you can let people know like who you are, where to find you, and all those different things. And then we will just start talking about the Eagles because I think that you all have had an actual pretty good offseason, which usually doesn't happen when you win the Super Bowl. But so, yeah, if you want to share with us.
Simone. You can find me on TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, Facebook at Simone with the Sports. On X, Simone_Stanley. So I make sports content, primarily NFL and primarily Eagles, but try to, mix it up here and there.
Yeah, I don't know. Is my Wi-Fi? Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, I can
Everything
hear you.
just blacked out. Okay, cool.
Saw it.
Awesome. So did you see it black out? Oh, okay. Well, it's 2025. Listen, like we're just gonna keep it real up in here. Everything isn't perfect. So speaking about everything being perfect, what is it like being a Philadelphia Eagles fan right now? How are you feeling? I know that you got very emotional after you all won, which was amazing because your emotion was coming from like all the doubt everybody had about the players and the team. So what does it feel like to be a Super Bowl champion?
It feels amazing. Obviously, this is our second time winning Super Bowl, so only got to experience this twice now. It's a great feeling to know, you're top of the league, you're top of the NFL. Winning the Super Bowl is hard. It's a big feat, and we knew we had the talent. We knew we had, the players in each position to make it happen. So to finish the job, it just feels great, and especially the way we did it too in blowout fashion.
Yeah. No, the best, like the best.
Right.
So after, how would you like, everybody has a song, right? That's like describing their last season. And I am dying to know what your song is going to be to describe the 2024 season.
I would say probably All We Do Is Win, because
I knew you were going to give me something better than I thought. Okay.
No, because ever since that bye week, like literally all we did was win. And like the haters, they have something to say every week. They wanted to see us do this. They wanted to see Jalen Hurts do that. They wanted to see us play the Lions. They wanted to see us play the Ravens. They wanted to see us play the 49ers. Whatever we did, all we did was win. Like they didn't like it. They didn't like the way we did it. They didn't like the way we did it on the ground. They wanted to see us do it in all type of ways. But like Jalen said, like it doesn't matter how it's done. At the end of the day, Jalen Hurts wins. So like that's the moral of the story. Like all Jalen Hurts does is win. All we did was win. Like it or not.
I love it. My team obviously didn't win the Super Bowl. We're not very good. But I remember thinking like, I felt like I won because I'm also like a defender of like Jalen Hurts, defender of Lamar Jackson, like defender of all things. And so when it happened, I was like, okay, check one person off the list that like we can no longer talk about. So when you talk about him, just make sure you say Super Bowl champion Hurts, not just Jalen Hurts. Like let's, So anyway, so I kind of felt a little pride myself. So Super Bowl happens, you're on cloud 9. How long did it take you to adjust to like, okay, we got to do this again? Or how, like, where were you in your like switch to let's get ready for next year? But first I'm going to celebrate this. I'm going to the parade. I'm going to do all of these things.
I feel like we haven't adjusted. Like as fans, we don't got to do nothing. Like all we got to do is show up is September. So I feel like definitely not adjusted. Like until February 2026, we're the Super Bowl champs. Like there's nothing anybody can say.
Good.
So until then, I'm gonna be talking.
Good, as you should. As I would expect nothing less. So that's awesome. And let's be honest. So a lot of people are going to watch this that their teams haven't won a national championship or a Super Bowl or anything, so they don't even know what it feels like.
Right.
So okay, I love that. So the offseason happens. And how do you feel about free agency? How do you feel about the people that left, the people that stayed? How are you feeling as far as like the team is starting to take on a new structure? It's not that new, but a newer structure for 2026. How do you feel like you all did in the offseason?
I feel like we had a great offseason. I mean, offensively, we returned 10 out of 11 starters. We lost Mekhi Becton, but like, anybody we bring in the O-line is going to be fine. So offensively, we pretty much said Saquon still got his thighs, he still got his calves, still got his legs, still got his hands, still got his fingers. So we good there. Like, as long as Saquon can still run, we're good. Still got AJ, still got Smitty, still got Jalen, still got Dallas Goedert, Grant Calcaterra. So we're good offensively. Defensively, I feel like we're set too. Like, we brought back every single All-Pro on defense. We brought back every single Pro Bowler on defense. Our rookies last season was, the stars of the show with Cooper DeJean and Quignon, and now they're just going into another season. So we, of course, expect them to be better because they have a whole NFL season under their belt.
Yep.
To learn and grow. Vic Fangio, our defensive coordinator, he's back. That's one of the biggest things, obviously, because we saw last season, like, when we had injuries, when it was next man up, they were always ready. Like, we had a couple of guys backup guys playing in the Super Bowl, but nobody would know it because Vic Fangio keep everybody ready. So as long as we got Vic Fangio at the helm, as long as we got all of our, leaders on every phase of the defense, where it be Jalen Carter and Nolan Smith up front, Zach Bond in the middle, and then obviously Quignon and Coop in the back, then we good.
Yeah, I love it. How do you feel losing Kellen Moore? Are you kind of like, okay, or were you like, this can be interesting to see how we adjust to a new guy?
I didn't really feel any way about it. I mean, Kellen Moore did a great job. We won the Super Bowl. He stuck to the plan, which was running the ball. But I mean, he didn't have to do anything like unique to him.
Yeah.
Hand the ball off, hand the ball off, tush push, hand the ball off. So it's not like he did anything unique or had like a specific scheme. Like, we brought in an internal guy. We promoted an internal guy that's been with the Eagles for 10 years, been with Nick Sirianni since he was with the Colts. So he already know, hand the ball off to Saquon and let everything else do his job.
It's right. So simple. I don't get why it continues. It's like, if it's working, you do it over and over and over.
Exactly.
So yeah, that's awesome. And also, as you were talking, I finally realized why people get mad at me when I talk about Texas. Because I'm like, oh, Colin Simmons, oh, Anthony Hill Jr., oh, and it's like 5-star, 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 5-star. And so for you're like all pro, all pro, all pro.
Right.
So I finally realized how people, when they hear me, they're like, oh my God, if this girl doesn't stop, like, listening, like, we know, we got it.
Right.
I love that. Okay, so the draft rolls around, and were you thinking like, okay, we just need to shore up a couple of things, just need to make it just like a few moves here? Or how did you go into the draft? Like, what was your thinking behind? Because at this point, you totally trust the GM. You see what he's doing. You see he's making things make sense. You see that he's getting guys, that a lot of people like. I think you wanted Malachi Starks. I think that was one guy that you wanted. But how did you feel like going into the draft and what you thought the Eagles were going to do?
I kind of felt like the Eagles couldn't do any wrong in this draft because as long as they went best player available, I feel like it's just kind of safe because, again, we didn't need anything specifically. Like, we weren't starving at any position. We had guys in place pretty much everywhere. So it wasn't a situation where like last draft we needed a corner. Like in the past drafts we might have needed a defensive tackle, but like this draft we didn't need any one thing. There were so many different routes we could have taken. So I really like what we did, just going best player available at 32, 31, because we did trade up one spot. Obviously, I really like Malachi Starks because he's a Georgia boy, and he was one of the best Georgia boys in the draft. Obviously, you know how we do with the Georgia boys. So he was definitely like a guy everybody had their eye on. But no, we did great just going best player available. Jahad Campbell was right there with us. He's from the Philly area, grew up a Eagles fan. He could play inside linebacker. Nakobe Dean is hurt right now, so he'll be able to come in, be a starter day one while Nakobe Dean rehabs. And he's also a guy that could play outside as well. We can always use some oomph, obviously, off the edge. So I feel like I love it. It's a very versatile piece. And it's a guy that wasn't expected to be there at 31. So again, just another guy that just kind of, was there for the Eagles.
Yeah. So do you have a draft pick where you were like, I really like this move? And then one where you're just kind of like, okay, whatever. Like, we'll figure it out. Was there anyone that you felt that way about?
Yeah, I mean, obviously really liked Jahad. I really liked our second pick, Andrew Makuba from Texas. Yeah. But our fourth round pick, I'm really excited about Ty Robinson, defensive tackle from Nebraska. Just the possibility of that rotation with him and Jalen Carter, because he's like, all around
We
defensive
get
talent.
Ty Robinson.
You said what?
I forgot that y'all got him from
Yeah.
Nebraska.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, so he's one I'm really excited about. No, he wasn't like obviously a top pick, but I think he's like an underrated pick for us. Just the pressure that he brings inside, like 24 quarterback hurries, primarily from the inside. Like you don't see that a lot. So I'm definitely excited about Ty Robinson.
I love that. I forgot all about him. That's why people are saying the Eagles stole the draft.
Yeah.
I love that. I love that. When you
I
guys
don't know why
continue win the Super Bowl.
I don't know how he was like slid down so far.
Yeah, I don't either. I think it's because it was such a D-line heavy. I think I always say whenever there's too many guys, respectfully, a lot of these teams can't keep focus. They're not that good at their jobs. I gotta keep it real. Like just because you have the job doesn't mean you're good at the job. So I'm just saying. So it doesn't surprise me. Andrew Makuba, I was excited to see him go to the Eagles. I think he's going to be phenomenal there. And I think you guys are gonna love him. He just plays football. So yeah. And so anyways, I could go on and on about Andrew Makuba. So what is your realistic expectation then for the 2025 season? I mean, I have realistic expectations that I think, but I would love to know like what your expectations are for this season.
I feel like we definitely have what it takes to go back to back. I mean, like I said, we bring in back 10 out of 11 offensive starters. Defensively, like I said, like the key to that defense, obviously the players, but Vic Fangio, he be having them guys ready. And he was able to go in this draft, obviously pick the guys that he want, guys, from his scheme. He was able to have full free agency where, like he's bringing in guys that he wants. So we saw what Vic did last season, turning Oren Burks into, a starter in the Super Bowl that's contributing from special teams, to Zach Baum from a special teamer to an all-pro. Unlocked Nakobe Dean, had Quinyon, had Coop ready. So I feel like as long as Vic Fangio is at the helm, like we're good. Brought in a lot of depth. So I just feel like we got what it takes. Like I said, on every level of the defense, we brought back a star on every level. So I feel like, it's us until somebody proves they can stop us. And right now, when I'm looking around, I don't see anybody.
I want my Eagles Ravens Super Bowl. I want it right now.
Everybody wants it.
Like I don't care, and because I feel like I want to watch a Super Bowl where I can cheer for anybody. Whoever wins, I'm going to be very happy.
Yeah.
Like because lately I've been like, okay, I know who I don't want to win, and then obviously the Eagles, and I'm like, okay, I want the Eagles to win, but like I just want a Super Bowl where I can just sit back and be like, this is for the culture. Let's get Beyonce in. Let's just do all the things. Right. So like this is for us. But anyways, I won't leave it alone. Yeah, I won't leave it alone until it actually happens. But that's what I would love to see. All right. So do you have a hot take about your team that fans of your team would be shocked that that's your actual hot take?
It's not really any like hot takes that can be made. I guess the only hot take I could say is maybe that our defense will be better than last season, because obviously we had the number one defense last year. So I guess that's a hot take, that our defense could be better than last season.
Who do you think you all's most underrated position group is, or most underrated player is?
Underrated player? I feel like Reed Blankenship, probably our safety. You know what I mean? Because he's not like talked about. But Reed be making plays. Like he's super consistent. He might not be a star, all pro or whatever, but like he's so consistent. He's clutch. Anytime we need a big play, Reed gonna make it.
Yeah, I love it. If you were GM for a day, what's the first move you would make?
Right now?
Yeah. I can't wait to see what you say.
I can't even think of anything that I would do right now, because everything done.
Yeah. But see, I think what's interesting though is the difference between like a team, and the other thing is you trust what they're doing.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of times whenever there's something you would do, it's because you don't know what the leadership is doing. So you're like, okay, well, let's do something because I don't know what y'all are doing anyway.
Right.
But when you,
I'm trying to think. I'm like, right now, like giving, like, because I was looking at the free agent list the other day. Like, there's nobody I really bring in maybe Justin Simmons, but I would have to discuss with him his money because I'm not trying to pay him that much.
Fair.
But
Fair.
like, if he want to come in for the cheap, then I'll bring him in.
Yeah. Okay. That would be a good discussion, actually.
Mm-hmm.
And y'all would all be accused of cheating, which is, I feel like the being accused of cheating is the best compliment you can get in professional sports.
Right.
Is, oh, cool. Y'all think we're that good? Yes.
Right.
We're cheating then.
Gotta be cheating, right?
Yeah. Okay.
No,
I love
they
that.
actually do be cheating though.
Well, so yeah. Well, that's they they do. Let's just hope. Somebody said on Twitter the other day, they were like, what if I told you that was the end of the Chiefs dynasty? Like, what if I told you that because like every dynasty happens and it churns, right? Like as soon as one team's done, like the next team steps in, and before you realize it, it's kind of like the Patriots. Remember at first I was like, are we ever not going to see these guys? And then they just vanished, and then the next team came and it was the Chiefs. So I'm hoping this is like the swing. So, and I'm really just saying this so we can get two options of seeing Lamar and Jalen Hurts in the Super Bowl at the same time. Oh my gosh.
That would be crazy. Yeah.
It would be.
Lamar got to do it. Lamar got to make it happen.
Yeah. I was going to say, I mean, obviously you want the Eagles to win, obviously. But do you find yourself sometimes being like, I want my team to win. Don't get me wrong. But man, I really like Lamar. Do you feel that way ever? No? Okay.
I like Lamar if we're eliminated, but like not while the season going on.
Not against. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. That's where we draw the line. Okay. Fair. Yeah.
But yeah, Lamar got to get there. Like, we'll be there. Waiting. We was waiting this year for him.
Oh my God. Don't even get me started. And everybody gives me so much crap. I'm a Steelers fan, and they're like, I can't believe you're cheering for the Ravens. I'm like, first of all, the Ravens beat us. Second of all, why would I not? Who do you want me to cheer for? You want me to cheer for Josh Allen over Lamar Jackson? like, what are we doing, people? Like, come on. And you know what? At this point, it's like anybody but the Chiefs. And, know, that didn't happen, but whatever. So the Eagles took care of that. Okay, cool. So we're going to do the lightning round. Okay. And so the lightning round, I thought it was really cute because I had like overtime and then like 4 downs to get to the touchdown. And then every time I started to say that, it sounded cheesier and cheesier, but I still love it. So there's still 4 questions. I don't really care. So, which division rival do you love to hate the most, and why?
Probably Dallas, because for most of my life it's been us and Dallas. Definitely Dallas. Washington sneaking in last year, I realized I missed Dallas as our opponent because Dallas fans, they don't know how to talk trash. You know what I'm saying? So it'd be easy with them. Washington fans, they actually got a little smart mouth. You know what I mean? You know how it is.
That's not Washington. You know I mean? That's not
Yeah, they got a mouth similar to ours as Eagles fans. So I don't like that. Dallas, they so easy to punch up on. Their fans is so easy. So I actually miss them being, the other team.
I love it. If you could change one thing about your franchise, what would it be? So uniforms, stadium location, GM, I don't know why you do that, ownership, anything. Is there, some people are actually talking about color combinations that their teams wear, which I didn't think about that, but that's actually a good thing to change.
I would change. So we have a new fight song. No one likes us. We don't care. I would want them to play that in the stadium. Because, we're still doing Fly Eagles Fly.
Right.
I mean? But, like at the bars and stuff, we'll play No One Likes Us. But I would want them to incorporate No One Likes Us, We Don't Care at the actual stadium.
When did they start doing that?
A few years ago, I think it's just a new song. It's a song, I think it came out around 2017 Super Bowl.
Oh, okay.
But it's just a little hip, like a little hip beat, little hip hop beat. But they need to play it in the stadium. Yeah.
Because I didn't even know that was a thing. Oh, that would be cool. So the next question is going to be hard for you to answer, but that's okay. If you could swap one player from your team with one player from your rival, who would you swap and why?
So it's got to be Dallas?
You can pick anybody in your division if you want.
I would take...
Or you can pick anybody in the NFL if you want. You're a Super Bowl champion. Do what you want.
I would take right now, I would take a O-lineman. Because like I said, we did lose Makai. So like I would take a star lineman.
Nice.
Somebody to replace Makai.
Okay. That's respectful. And then send them the guy.
some star guard to come in.
Okay. I like it. Again, a good team problems. So like, give me a linebacker, give me a pass rusher, like, give me a quarterback, like, give me new coaches. Like, that's so funny. I love that. And then my last question is, and then I actually have a question about the Rams, because I did not realize. Okay, let's talk about the Eagles. So, what is 3 words that you would say describe the Eagles fan base?
Passionate, gritty, and passionate, gritty, and fun, because we be lit.
Yeah, I love that. Gritty is a good one. Gritty is a really good one, because I can see that, because they treat their athletes that way too. Like, you got to figure it out. Like,
right.
Period. And the coach. So they love him now though, right?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Just making sure they realize they need to calm down a little bit. So what is the thing with you all in the Rams?
What you mean?
Like, I didn't realize like how much the Rams have problems with the Eagles.
Oh, they just mad because they lost twice.
But did you see it before the game? Like,
you talking about Jared Hurts?
The Rams fan base before they played the Eagles, you would think that you all stole their entire roster and you're using them. Like, they do not like the Eagles at all.
I saw that more like after the game, because I guess they thought they was going to win that game.
Oh.
I've never seen nothing. Like, I don't know any Rams fans. I only know one Rams fan. So I've never even seen Rams fans.
Okay, it wasn't me. Okay, no, I was the same. I was like, where did y'all all come from?
But
and
I
like,
know after they lost, they was mad because they lost. They just mad they lost. Jared Hurts was mad.
Yeah, okay. So it wasn't just me. That was the first time I'd ever. Usually, some fan bases are quiet.
Yeah,
they're pretty quiet fan base. But then I was like, is this normal? Is there a rival?
They got embarrassed by Shaquon Barkley and just didn't know how to handle it. Like, come on now, everybody get embarrassed by Shaquon.
Well, guilty. Well, Shaquon was hurt when we played, so
what?
Saquon. I think Saquon got hurt when we played him in the season.
Oh yeah,
and my friends were like, "It's your fault." I'm like, "What?"
But no, anyways, they were hurt because they thought they whooped up on the Vikings.
Yeah, they thought this was their year
of thinking they were going to beat us. So they whooped up on the Vikings. All of a sudden, they're like, "Oh my goodness, we can win the Super Bowl."
Yeah,
and then we had to bring them back down. That's it.
Okay, awesome. I have one more thing to ask you, and then I'll end with you saying whatever. How are you feeling about the Commanders in the division? Like, do you feel like the Commanders? I feel like teams in the NFC East are having a pretty good offseason. Like, we don't know what's going on with the Dallas defense. We don't know what Dak's going to do. Right. We can talk about all the things about Dallas. But then when it comes to the Commanders, it's like second year for Jalen Daniels. We don't know if that's going to look like. They got Debo. Like, we don't know. Mm-hmm. I guess my question for you is, being in that division, how do you look at the moves that are made? Like, I know at some point when you're a champion, and a lot of people don't know what this feels like. A lot of times you're just kind of like, I don't really care what they got going on because I know my team is great. But then sometimes you're kind of like, wait, they have who? What's going on? You're kind of paying a little bit of attention. Where are you at with that right now?
I'm feeling good. Okay. Like, I'm sorry, what was the question again?
No, I was just asking, like, how are you feeling about the Commanders and the Cowboys right now?
I feel like the Commanders, I feel like they're number 2.
Okay.
They got to act right for number 2, because the biggest thing is their offense is going to be fine. Their problem was their defense. Right. So, like, you added Debo, great. Okay. But what did you do on defense? Because you was getting cooked. Every game last season, their offense was saving them.
Yeah.
They got into the playoffs because their offense saved them versus the Falcons. They advanced in the playoffs because their offense saved them. They just kept getting saved by the offense. Yeah. So when the offense couldn't do nothing, when they ran up on our defense, when their defense couldn't do nothing, that's it. So I'm just wondering, what did they do defensively to get better? As far as I'm seeing, nothing. What did they do to stop Shaquon Barkley? Because their run game was abysmal.
Right.
I haven't seen nothing. Now somebody could step up, somebody could rise up. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But as far as what I'm seeing right now, I'm not worried about them. I think they'll still
Okay.
be good enough to be like number 2 because, like I said, they just still have a high power offense. Giants still got to figure their GE out. Little boys, they got to figure their GE out. But no, I think Washington will be solid, but I don't think they're going to be like world beaters. Like, because again, you still don't got a defense.
Yeah, they still got some things to figure out. Awesome. Well, that was all I have for you. I feel like this is, I always like, I knew as soon as I reached out, I'm like, this is going to be one of my easiest conversations because your team is phenomenal. And
Right.
it's like, you want to talk about how great you are, but at some point it's like, do we even need to really keep talking like you saw it? You know what I'm saying? Like a team had like how many points in the Super Bowl at halftime? I mean, like, what is there? We're phenomenal. We're great. You're not. What else do you have to ask me? So anyways, like I do every episode, I will put all of your information into the description so that everybody can find you, click on you, all your links, all your stuff will be here. If you are looking for Eagles content, even if you just want to talk trash to your friends and say that how terrible she is and how arrogant the Eagles are and all the things that people say about the Eagles, you should follow Simone wherever you find her. You should follow her. I will give you one thing though. No matter who you're a fan of, you will laugh. You will absolutely make whoever follows you laugh. And I respect that. Even when your team sucks, go watch Simone's content because her team doesn't suck. So it's at least enjoyable. So with that, I don't know if you have anything else to say before we end.
No, just go Birds.
Oh gosh, go Birds. Here we go. I feel like I should just start the Fly Eagles Fly song. Anyways, I'll talk to you soon.